Hello and welcome to the YouTube channel D Creations Resources. We are looking at different topics from mathematics, especially linear algebra. Now, when you are learning linear algebra, one of the most fundamental concept is of linear equations. So let's have a look at this concept. First of all, let us talk about equations. When can you call a mathematical expression as an equation? Well, there actually have to be two mathematical expressions and each one of them should give you a value and both these values should be equal. So there is a necessity of having this equal to sign in an equation, and they can be of different types. Here we are going to focus on linear equations, but they can also be non-linear equations. So x is equal to 3 or x upon 2 is equal to 31.2 pi. Now this example is specifically given so as to highlight that there can be an irrational number as well. So it need not be always an integer. Also there can be a fraction. Now I mentioned about non-linear equations. So this is an example of non-linear equation. X square is equal to 16, or even the last equation here, 4x raised to 4 minus 3x plus 7 is equal to 0. So there are equations of the form of quadratic equations basically, which are non-linear equations. But here everywhere you can see the presence of the equal to sign. So when can you not call something as an equation? So if you see here, x plus 2 or 3x raised to 5 minus 6x minus 8. In both these cases, they are just mathematical expressions. They are not leading you to any value which is being equated to. So definitely these two are not equations. Now let's move on to linear equations. Actually the name linear indicates its geometrical correspondence. Basically it's an equation for a straight line. Now the idea is the equations have to be of first order. That means how many ever variables are there, each one of them should have a degree as 1. So for example, x is equal to 3 or x by 2 is equal to 31.2 pi. If you recall, these examples are same where we had seen examples of equations. So these two, first two are linear equations, next two are not. Coming back, so here you can see power of x is 1. So this qualifies to be a linear equation. The equal to sign of course is there. Now there are different forms for equations for straight line. There could be a slope intercept form, y is equal to mx plus c. So there are two variables, y as well as x, but the power is 1 for both of them. Or there could be a point slope form as well. Now as I mentioned, there could be the number of variables could be 1 or more. If it is a linear equation in one variable, of course there is only single variable. Say for example, x is equal to 3 or 2x minus 5 is equal to 15. You can see x is the only variable. But there could be a situation when there are two variables in a linear equation. For example, x plus 2y is equal to 5.5 or 5x1 minus 81x2 is equal to 3 pi. Again, specifically I am using these irrational numbers here in order to highlight, like we did previously, that it's not necessary that the constant has to be an integer. Also, now variables can be of different kind. Here we have used x and y. You could also use x1, x2 or any other letters from alphabet for that matter. So they can be different kinds of variables. And then of course there is a general expression. Here we mentioned 1, here we mentioned 2. What about a general case? Linear equation in n variables. Well, the general expression will be a1 x1 plus a2 x2 plus dot 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 plus an xn is equal to k. Now here all the ai's, a1, a2, an, etc. are the coefficients, they are numbers, and x1, x2 up to xn, these are the n variables, and k again is a constant. So an example could be 7x1 minus 3.3x2 plus pi x3 is any number, say 319. This is a linear equation. How many variables are here? 3. So this is a linear equation in 3 variables. Now even the situation of linear equation in 1 variable, if you want to write it in terms of general expression, it would be a1x1 is equal to k. Or if it's 2 variables, a1x1 plus a2x2 is equal to k. So in this way, we can express linear equations and the variables could be different as well. So as I mentioned earlier, y is equal to mx plus c, the slope intercept form for a line. So that is also a linear equation. Thank you.